The coronavirus demand challenge awaiting China's auto industry at a look. COVID-19 could drag Chinese passenger vehicle sales 5% below pre-crisis expectations in our mildest scenario, 10% if there's a significant impact, and 23% within the worst case. If there's no resurgence of the pandemic in China, demand shocks are likely to be the largest managerial challenge for the world. Priority actions for car makers include systematically improving operational efficiency, redefining pricing strategy, and mastering online sales. When SARS hit China in 2003, the epidemic did not dent the booming industry. Car makers pushed ahead, building new factories to require advantage of the continuing transformation occurring within China's economy. The outbreak even ended up spurring demand for cars among some Chinese commuters who didn't want to risk infection by taking transportation system. Overall, nearly 2 million cars were sold in 2003, up 3/4 from 2002. It's too early to predict how or when the coronavirus outbreak of 2020 will resolve itself in China, but it's probably safe to mention that the auto industry won't be powering on as spectacularly because it did almost 20 years ago. For starters, COVID-19 has spread more widely than SARS, doing so against a backdrop of economic process that has already slowed. Additionally, years of strong sales growth implies that the auto market is far more mature than it absolutely was round the time of SARS. In 2018, there have been 183 cars in use per 1,000 adults in China, up from just 9 cars in 2003. The Chinese market has become a serious source of sales for the auto industry globally. To understand better how the coronavirus pandemic will affect car makers and their suppliers in China, Bain & Company modeled 3 scenarios, starting from a gentle impact on expected sales to a worst-case reduction of quite 20%. All told 3 cases, we believe that the managerial challenge ahead is more about dealing with lingering demand shocks than the considerable supply disruption already suffered. Rising thereto challenge is probably going to involve actions like systematically improving operational efficiency, redefining pricing strategy, and mastering online sales. Demand shocks outweigh supply challenges. The auto industry has certainly faced a short-term supply shock in China. Nearly 7% of China's light vehicle production is in Wuhan, the town within which COVID-19 was first identified. Parts suppliers and original equipment manufacturers, OEMs, in China typically had to suspend work for 10 to 20 days in late January and February because the Lunar Year's holidays were extended during a bid to regulate the